A very warm good morning to each and everyone. I'm pretty sure that you will be really in a wonder who is this in the screen. So first of all, I will introduce myself. My name is Sri Lakshmi and I'm your new English teacher. I will give a brief introduction about me. I'm a Malayali. I'm from Kerala. My native place is Thrissur and now I live in Calicut. So I'm really happy that I'm a part of you and this Shiksha family, and fortunately I'm hoping that all of us will meet in direct as soon as possible. So this is my first class and I'm really happy to start that class with a beautiful piece of poetry from English literature, and I consider myself and all of us is really fortunate to start this class, our first class, with the most renowned poet of English literature. Who is that? Who will be? Who is the most renowned nature poet of English literature? It's Wordsworth. Is it? Wordsworth. William Wordsworth. So today I'm starting the lesson. I'm to a butterfly, a poem, a beautiful poem written by William Wordsworth. So what do you know about Wordsworth? Just think. Have you heard? Have you gone through any poetry, or in last classes, previous years, you have studied any poetry of any piece of poetry of Wordsworth? Just revise your memory. And if you have learned or if you have come across his poem, I'm sure that you will be very much clear that how much close or how much kind of intense relation Wordsworth have towards the nature, right? That's the reason why Wordsworth is known as the nature poet of English literature. Actually, Wordsworth is the person who introduced this kind of romantic age into English literature. Romantic age is nothing complicated, but it's very simple that until that period, what happened is poetry was actually revolving around all complicated things. It was revolving around in English. I'm talking about the history of English poem or English literature. Okay, so until the period of Wordsworth, what happened is all the literature, all poetry, prose, novels, stories, everything was revolving around some complicated topics which will be only familiar, which will be only clear for the high class people who know good English, who know good language, who have good language potential and all. What happened is, with the introduction of the poems of Wordsworth and his friend and his contemporaries, what happened is he transformed literature, or he started writing poems and stories in simple language, in common language, which all the people, whoever it is reading, anyone can understand that. He started writing about the rain, he started writing about the mountains, he started writing about the emotions of common people, he started writing about flowers, seasons and all. So every person will be clear, every person can relate to that particular poem. That was the most the most important advantage of Wordsworth poetry. It will be in simple language, and the theme will be always revolving around common topics or common things that we are familiar with. So today let us start with a wonderful poem. Let us start with a poem about a butterfly. All of you are in the age of butterfly. All of you are really, even if I'm not seeing you, I'm not watching you, I'm pretty sure that each and every one of you who is hearing me, who is watching me, are butterflies, beautiful butterflies. So I'm really proud and happy to start with a poem about butterfly written by William Wordsworth. So first of all, I will recite the first stanza of the poem for you. To a Butterfly, written by William Wordsworth. I have watched you now full half hour, self-poised upon that yellow flower. And, little butterfly, indeed, I know not if you sleep or feet? How motionless! Not frozen seas, more motionless. And then what joy awaits you when the breeze hath found you out amongst the trees and calls you forth again. So, what is the poet saying? Do you understand anything? Just read it. I will give you 2 minutes. Just read that stanza of your own. Just read it thoroughly, deeply, intensely. Just go through that lines. No issues even if you don't understand anything. But just read. Just have a read. I will wait for you. I'm giving you 2 minutes. How motionless, not frozen seas, more motionless. And then what joy awaits you when the breeze hath found you out amongst the trees and call you forth again. So, what do you understand? Here, what did the first line indicate? I have watched you now a full half hour. Wordsworth is talking to butterfly, isn't it? Wordsworth is sitting in his house in the courtyard. In the garden. He is watching a butterfly sitting in a yellow flower. He is very much amazed to see that. He is very happy to see that butterfly, and he is slowly he is going near by the butterfly, and he start talking to that little thing, that little colorful thing, and he is addressing a beautiful butterfly he spotted in his garden, marvels upon how the little creature has managed to hook the poet's attention for a full half hour, for more than 1 hour, for more than half an hour or 1 hour. The poet is observing that butterfly. We used to do that, right? When we are watching a very beautiful butterfly, what will we do? We will wait. We will slowly go near the butterfly. We will watch it. We will watch the patterns of its feathers. We will watch everything that we can see in that butterfly's wings, right? We will ponder, or we will peep into its eyes, into its colors and all. The same thing is doing, the poet is doing the same thing. The poet admired the pious with which the butterfly rested upon its perch, a yellow flower. So it's a new word for you. I know it will be a new word. So just add new words to your set of vocabularies. Self-poised. What do you mean by self-poised? It is grace. What is grace actually? When a person is coming, or when we see an object, when we see a thing, when we see a material, anything, that thing will be having a grace. That grace will be spreading. That thing will be spreading to the atmosphere, into the total surrounding. So what Wordsworth says is this butterfly, this small little butterfly is really very graceful. The grace, the energy, it is transforming a kind of energy into its surroundings. And it is sitting in a yellow flower. There is a yellow, small, yellow, beautiful flower in the garden, and the butterfly is going and sitting in front, in the top of that flower. It is sitting motionless. It is sitting very peacefully, but it's really very graceful to watch. It's really smart. It's really very beautiful to watch, sitting that butterfly, that colorful butterfly sitting in that yellow flower. Wordsworth was attracted to the stillness of butterfly, which made the insect appear more motionless to the poet than the frozen seas where no activity can be detected. So what is he saying? Poet is saying that I slowly went towards that butterfly. I watched it. I am observing that butterfly, and it is still. It is still more than a silent sea. Have you seen a sea? I'm sure that, have you ever went to a beach, a sea, to watch seas? What will we watch there? We can see waves there, right? We will see small, big, violent waves there. But have you ever seen a silent sea, a still sea? Sea will be really still at nights, or at times it will be really still. There will be no waves, no movements, nothing. It will be like we have paused a video. When we are watching a movie, we will pause a video and it will be stuck like this, right? Like that, the sea will be actually stuck. So what the poet is saying is, it is the butterfly is more still than a silent sea. It is more silent. It's not even moving its feathers. It is not even moving its eyes. It's not even just vibrating its feathers. It is sitting very still as like a photograph. Where is the flower sitting? Just tell me. Sorry, where is the butterfly sitting? Tell me. In top of a yellow, beautiful yellow flower. So that was like a beautiful photograph for he's seeing that scene. He's seeing that very beautiful scene like a beautiful photograph, because that flower and that butterfly is really still there. The unbroken stillness and calm of butterfly made the poet wonder if it ever moved even to eat or sleep. And the poet started thinking about that butterfly. I have such a problem, not a problem, but I have such a thinking disease. Like when I see a bird, or when I see a butterfly, when I see a river, when I see some people, I will think about it. What will they doing? I'm always when I was a child, I always wonder like this this elephant is having his trunk like thing, right, long nose, and I don't know that when I was a child, I don't know that elephant is having a mouth in below his here. So I always wonder like how it is having food. Is it having food through his this thing, or is it having food through its nose? What is happening to that animal? I always used to think like that. Like we have such kind of weird thoughts like that. So our Wordsworth, our poet is thinking like this butterfly is really still. It is still for an hour or more than an hour. This butterfly is sitting still above a yellow flower, and he wonders like, is it, what is happening to it? Will it move to have, if when it is time to have food, will it move? Or how is it sleeping? Is it sleeping like the same posture, or is it having food in the same posture? Will it move when it is having food? Will it move when it is having food or sleep? So this our Wordsworth is thinking continuously. He is thinking continuously about the butterfly. What will be it doing? What will be it doing when it is having food, or what will be it doing when it is time to sleep and all? And what happens? The unbroken stillness and calm of the butterfly made the poet wonder if it ever moved to even eat or sleep. For eating and sleeping, will it move to eat something, or will it move to sleep? I don't know. He's just pondering, he's just wondering about that thing. Then the poet imagines the joy the little creature must feel every time the breeze found its delicate wings among the trees, calling out to the butterfly to take flight again and grace other corners of the world with a beautiful presence. So what is he saying in the next lines? He is thinking like he feels like how happy it will be when the breeze. Have you ever felt evening breeze? Evening breeze in a chill place, in a cool place, in a garden. I hope all of you will be having a small or big garden in your home. Have you ever spent some time in your garden during evenings or mornings when there is really cool breezes? So we really feel refreshed and we really feel happy when we are touched by the wind, right? So like that, Wordsworth is thinking when the breeze is coming through the trees, through the leaves and all, the butterfly will be really happy to feel that wind. It will be really happy to feel that touch of the wind, to feel the touch of that breeze. And the poet wanted the butterfly to fly again. It needed to start his flight again, to wander around all the world, to wander through all the cities, all the streets, all the gardens and everywhere, to the forest, above the rivers, above the mountains. The poet wanted the butterfly to fly. Why did the poet want butterfly to fly? On not to see the butterfly, not to watch the butterfly flying. Only what he need is like, he want to spread the grace of that butterfly. He want to spread the happiness that the butterfly have inside him, inside that inside the little creature. He knows that inside that little creature there is immense amount of happiness, there is immense amount of color, immense amount of grace and everything. So he wanted that butterfly to fly and spread that happiness, peace and beauty everywhere in that world. So that is all about the first stanza. Now let us go into the second stanza. This plot of orchid ground is ours. My trees they are, my sister's flowers. Here rest your wing when they are weary. Here lodge as in a sanctuary. Come, often to us, fear no wrong. Sit near us on the bough. We will talk of sunshine and of song. And summer days when we were young, sweet childish days that were as long as 20 days are now. So what happened? Just read that stanza. I will give 2 more minutes to go through that stanza. Just read that. This plot of orchid ground is ours. My trees they are, my sister's flowers. Here rest your wings when they are weary. What is the poet saying in the second stanza? Wordsworth assures the butterfly that it can come take rest in his family orchid whenever it needs, whenever it wanted. He says like the poet is saying like, if you don't have any other place, or if you want a beautiful place to take rest, if you want a beautiful place to live, if you want a beautiful place to just to sit some time, just come to us. We have a garden, we have a orchid garden. Like, there are many flowers, there are many flowers over there. Please come to us, sit, rest in our flowers, give happiness to us. And he is saying, my trees, they are my sister's flower. There are many trees which is planted by Wordsworth, and there are flowers which is planted by his sister. He is reminding his sister. He is reminding the childhood days when the Wordsworth and his sister was children, and they were doing like, what were they doing? They were planting many trees, plants and many seeds there, and now it is a very beautiful garden and there are many flowers. So Wordsworth is inviting our butterfly to their garden, to their family. And here rest your wings when they are weary. Here lodge as in a sanctuary. Hence, the orchid is a safe space for the butterfly to use as a sanctuary whenever it pleases. So, Wordsworth is giving a very wonderful offer to butterfly. He is saying like, you can feel like home here. You can feel like a sanctuary here. You will be really safe here. There will be no one to distract you. There will be no one to irritate you or anything. There will be people around you who will enjoy your beauty. So come to us, take rest here. Just stay here. Just make our garden more beautiful by staying here. He further assures the little creature that no wrong will ever be done to it while it rests in the poet's orchid. Come often to us, fear no wrong. Nothing wrong will happen. No one will irritate you. No one will irritate that butterfly. No one will annoy that butterfly. He can, or that little creature can take rest. That little creature can enjoy the garden, enjoy the flower. It can take the nectar. It can live and celebrate its life in Wordsworth and his sister's garden for long time. For long time. So he is giving a very beautiful offer. He is inviting butterfly into his beautiful garden. And it rests in poet's orchid. So he further assures the little creature that no wrong will ever be done to it while it rests in the poet's orchid, and asks the butterfly to come visit him and his sister regularly. He is just what is our poet doing? He's telling like, he's requesting to the butterfly, please come to us regularly. Please come and visit me and my sister regularly. We will be really happy in your company. Please come to our orchids. Please come to our garden. Just sit in our flowers. Sit in our trees. Just fly around all of our garden. Just surround here. Just spread your happiness. Spread your colors. Plus, just spread your pleasure and energy and everything in our garden. That will be transformed to us. We will be really happy that you are here. So he's requesting that butterfly to come and visit he and his sister regularly. He invites the butterfly to sit near him and his sister on the bough and partake in their pleasant conversation about sunshine and songs. And what is he saying? Just come and visit us regularly, and we will be this Wordsworth and his sister is regularly having conversation about sunshines, about songs and all. Are you having such conversation with friends? What is your conversation when the teacher is going out, or you are having interval, or when you are having free time? What all are the things that you are discussing? If it is a time, if you are back from a vacation, I am sure that you will be discussing about everything that you saw, every beautiful things that you saw, right? This Wordsworth and his sister is always discussing about the beautiful sunshine, beautiful songs they love and all. So he's saying that please come to us, meet us regularly. Just come to our garden and sit beside us and just accompany or just take part in the conversation that me and my sister is having. We talk about sunset, we talk about songs. So I'm sure that this butterfly will be a victim, or sorry, not a victim. Butterfly will be it had experienced many beautiful sunrises. So he feels like please share your experiences, please share your experience of watching the most beautiful sunrise, or which is your most beautiful song, or which is your most loving song. So please share all these things with me and my sister. So he is inviting once more the butterfly to come to the garden and just spend the time with he and his sister. He wants the butterfly to be a part of the nostalgia-filled conversation him and his sister have about the sweet summer days from their childhood that were so carefree and pleasant that they seemed to last as long as 20 days. So what happened? I will read that lyrics once more, that lines. We will talk of sunshine and of song and summer days when we were young, sweet childish days that were as long as 20 days are now. He feels like Wordsworth feel like it is. He is talking about his childhood when he and his sister was really small. They used to play. What is summer actually? You will be having vacation in summer, right? In March, April and May will be the whole summer days. So that is the time when people will have all kind of fun. They will play, they will watch sunrises, sunsets, they will play in the mud, they'll run over, they will go to the courtyards and they will watch everything. So that's the most beautiful memory that Wordsworth is having about his childhood. And so he is saying that please come to us and let us go into that nostalgia, that old memories of summer vacation where we were playing, where we were dancing, where we were dancing in the garden, we were playing in the mud and all. Just accompany us into that old days. Come, let's go there, go to that summer, and we will enjoy that. So this poem, the To a Butterfly, central idea revolves around the Wordsworth appreciation of the natural world and the thoughts and emotion that evokes in him. So I'm sure that now you too will experience a kind of connection towards the butterfly. That is the most important speciality or the advantage of Wordsworth poetry, because we will really get connected to that thing which he is addressing. So I'm pretty sure that you will be now recollecting all the butterflies you saw. And also he says that the central theme of the poem is portraying the connection of that particular poet, our Wordsworth, the connection he is having towards nature. And the poet finds in his orchid a little butterfly that sits undisturbed and in perfect harmony with its surroundings. The tranquility of the butterfly brings to the fore of the poet's mind pleasant memories from his childhood, when he felt the same calmness and harmony that defines the butterfly in front of him. He is comparing the happiness that he got in that summer days when he was a child and his little sister was a child. They were playing in summer vacation. They were playing, they were talking about songs, they were talking about sunsets, they were talking about sunrises. And when they were children, they were in ultimate peace. They were really happy. They had nothing in their head to distract, to be tensed and all. They were in real happy. So the poet is saying that I am feeling the same happiness, I am feeling the same peaceful state of mind when I am watching this butterfly sitting still in that yellow flower. He is remembered about that old good childhood days when he watched this butterfly sitting in the yellow flower. The way that the object of the external world connects with a poet's internal world of memories and emotions inform the to a butterfly central idea. So he have good memories, good childhood memories inside him. He have good nostalgia, peaceful nostalgia, happiest nostalgia about old childhood days in his inner mind. You, all of you will be having it, right? You just think about which was your most peaceful journey or happiest journey when you in a past 5 years. Just think about that. You will be really happy. Think about your summer vacation 2 years back. You will be playing, you will be eating, you will be it's merry, it's full of merry, right? Like that, the poet was having good days, peaceful, happy days when he was a little child. He don't have anything to be tense. But as he is grown up, as we all grown up, we will get matured and there will be many things in our head to get tensed. We will be really messed with all our struggles, life struggles and all. But when the poet is seeing this beautiful butterfly sitting still in among or on a yellow flower, he is traveling very back into that old days, into that childhood, and he's feeling that peacefulness, that happiness as same as he felt when he was a child. So this is our poem, and I'm expecting that each and every one of you are very much clear about this thing, this poetry, this piece of poem, and I think that you really love the poem. And so what I want is in the next class, or before the next class, you should write a short summary of this poem including your experience. Just write a short summary of this poem and send to me. Okay, I will give you the number, my number, or you just share into the group, or I don't know what. I will discuss with Abrami ma'am and I will let you know what you should do. So what I want is you just write a small write-up about this poem, the summary of this poem and your experience watching a butterfly. What do you feel when you see a butterfly? What do you feel when you are in a company of a butterfly? What all thoughts will come into your mind? So just write it and send to me. Let me read it and let me have some pleasure. I will be really happy if you share such kind of happiness with me. So I hope this was our first class, and I hope you all are really clear about what I taught and what we discussed. So I'm really happy for having this session. If there is any clarity issues, any language problems, anything that is uncomfortable for you, please let me know. Just I will give you my personal number, or just share with Abrami ma'am or any teacher that they will tell to me, and I will fix it in the next class. So thank you so much. Have good time. Just enjoy everything that you are seeing, because we are going through pandemic days. We are stuck inside our home, and don't think that this is a boredom days and all. Just go out of your home. Just look into trees. Just look birds, flowers, everything you can see, and just enjoy everything. Okay. I hope you will enjoy your life and this time. So we will see in the next class. And I'm sure that all of you, each and every one of you, will write this assignment and will send it to me. So thank you so much. Have a good time. Have a good day. Okay. Bye. Goodbye.